It's now time for the #1 podcast in iHeartRadio. It's Your House is Key, the podcast that opens the door to your dream home. Hosted by the remarkable Dannel Shepard, he's your trusted guide in the world of real estate. Whether you're buying your first home, selling your current one, or simply curious about the market, this podcast is your one-stop shop for all things real estate. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host and my good friend, Dannel Shepard.
What's up, guys? It's your favorite realtor, Dannel Shepard, with the Your House is Key podcast. And today I got my neighbor and my investor, Ben Graham. So, Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, you got the big stuff. Like, what matters is I'm your neighbor, so that makes me special. I get to hang out with you. But no, I like investing in real estate. I like playing with cars. Grew up in the same town.
You did.
It was long.
You did.
Yeah, and pastor by trade, and then this is just a little like extra side hustle thing.
All right, so I want to get into it. So this is what most people want to know, because if they're doing investment, they some of these people are afraid or don't know who to ask. So I'm gonna ask you. So what inspired you to get in real estate investment, and what keeps you motivated to keep going? Loaded question.
I've been interested in real estate since I was a little kid, because my mom was like, she used to walk us through houses under construction. Like, that was just weekend fun for the family.
Man.
She loved that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, growing up where we did,
Yeah.
none of those things were ever options.
No, it wasn't.
But if you fast forward, so like I said, I've been a pastor for decades, and some things you may or may not know about pastors: we don't get like unemployment if that happens. You got to have some things that kind of back it up a little bit.
Okay.
But I had some folks in my church down in Chattanooga who had made really good money. I think they owned about half the city down there.
Jeez.
And so they just started talking to me about ways to get involved in investment. Real estate were some of my favorite classes in college.
Okay.
So it fit. And so they took me out, showed me some stuff, and I bought a package of 7 properties, duplexes and houses all in one. Bought a few other houses and duplexes. Ask me how much.
How much was those
7 in one?
7 properties in one deal.
You want to take a guess?
If we talking, then I'm gonna say 150.
That's really low. But I did 210 for else.
Say 210. All right,
good.
Yeah. All right. So, but what keeps you motivated, or why are you still going?
It's the same kind of stuff. Like, I enjoy it. One of the things, though, that is, I think, maybe different about me, or that I really enjoy about real estate is, so when you buy a package of 7 properties for $210,000,
Even more. Right.
I love renovating things. So, like, I mean, how many cars have you seen?
Yes.
Go through my garage.
Yes. I'm calling the H. No, I'm just joking.
I keep them in the garage. We're fun. So I enjoy doing that. I like seeing like people's lives renovated. That's really what a pastor is doing. And I love doing the same thing with houses. But what I found in the housing and the places I was buying, I did some pretty simple stuff,
Right.
that just looked really good. Like, you put LVP on the floor, you paint the walls, you put in some new cabinets. They don't even have to be expensive.
Right.
And the people coming into these places, because they weren't in nice neighborhoods, but for the folks coming in, they were paying not much more in rent, and they were getting the nicest place they'd ever lived.
So you made it like home, something worth wanting to have.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was making money. My people never wanted to leave because it was the nicest thing they'd ever had. And
Okay.
so I'm feeling good about it. I'm making money. They're saving. They're feeling good about themselves. And so, like, I'm elevating people, and I'm making income for my family too. So that's been a lot of what has kind of kept me going. And so since we moved out here to Cincinnati again, starting it all back up, you and I are looking at the same kind of places. We're doing the same
Yep.
things.
And that's the one thing you said was you wanted to make sure that the people move in are so comfortable and taken care of, they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
But at a cost-effective way.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a win-win.
Okay.
A lot of people don't think those things exist. That's really what I've built the business on.
And that's what separates you from the rest too.
I sort of hope so. Like, I want to be special, but I would also hope that, like, you want everybody to have the same mindset, you know?
But it's from what not everybody, and I don't want to tank the
No,
but it's the challenge is making money and being kind.
yeah. Of course, that's also why you hire a property manager,
That's true.
because the kindness side of me can come out. I've been warned about that a few times.
Take
where-
advantage of where you got to keep it but you're still
Yeah.
kind because you're not slumming it. You're not
Oh, yeah.
you want them. We've been in some places together and it's like, dude, And I'm like, no, I'm not letting you do it. We can't do it. And before I could say something, you would be like, nah, I'm not on it.
Just turn around.
Yeah, matter of fact, we're not even gonna go down the rest of the street. There's no need to go in. So how do you approach risk when evaluating a deal? And do you have a checklist? Is it a mental checklist or is it a physical checklist? But first, how do you evaluate your risk?
So, I mean, I'm looking for what is my return going to be.
Okay.
And obviously you know that. Now, how do I approach risk? Some of it as far as like mitigating that risk. This is the part where you're going to owe me, but it's true. I lean on you.
Right.
I mean, you need a good realtor who knows the market. And so how many questions have I asked you?
A lot.
Did you get irritated yet?
No, because you came in. So here, since we're talking, you went from, this is what I used to do. I used to buy these 7, I used to do this and do that, to like, hey, I know I used to do it, but how's it done here?
Yeah.
And when somebody, there's a difference with, hopefully I didn't have a different demeanor, but when someone knows something, it's that battle in anything. Like, okay, you know it. All right. So what are we going to battle?
Well, we also have the thing, like everything I did before was before COVID.
Yeah.
And that changed the entire market.
How we negotiate everything. And I was like, yo,
how does it even work now?
I can't put my name on that.
Yeah.
But I don't mind, and again, I thank you, but I don't mind. The reason I didn't get I don't get irritated, but some of the questions like, really? But it's a good question because of the fact you're asking a question.
Yeah.
And long as you're asking and you're wanting to grow and you really want to know how it's done, why am I getting annoyed? Because the more I teach you, the more you trust me, the more it's like, and again, I tell you every time, please read the documents. Don't just take my word, but you're comfortable, right? But I still keep it business. So
yeah.
Okay.
And there's a part of that too, even like with me asking the questions, even some of that is like, hey, are we on the same wavelength? Because you have to find somebody that kind of thinks the same way.
And if we're not, we level set of here's my expectation.
Yeah. And it's okay to find somebody. I mean, you got to find somebody that fits. It may not be the first person. So, but I remember the conversation when we were heading over to look at, I think it was the ones that I own over in Hamilton now.
Okay. All right.
And you and I got talking about, I think that's when we first discovered that we both grew up in Roselawn, and we were just talking about what life was like growing up there, that you never thought about, hey, I'm going to take money and use it to make money.
Money as a tool versus money for survival, to pay bills.
Yeah, exactly. I talked about just wanting to elevate the community. I'm like, okay, we're starting to get these kind of things about what we're really going for here. And so you're asking about, mitigating risk. So do I have, I keep a spreadsheet. And so anything I'm going to do, I'm running through, okay, what's going to be kind of my vacancy rate on this one most likely? What's going to be my rent?
I need to sell. For some reason to sell, I need a number to put in here because my formula is not working. Are you using another formula?
Yeah. I got my stuff in here. Like, all right, I'll plug it all in. So here's a mix though. Like you asked about, do I have a tool? So I'll use that. And I'm thinking about, what are my rents going to be? That's my first question every time. Is my rents.
What's the rent?
But I've used it enough times that as you tell me what the rent is, I mean, you probably see the look in my face where I'm like, that's not going to work.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. And I might irritate some realtors with this because like, I'm thinking about what am I getting now? Or what am I going to get when I've kind of finished with it?
Right.
But all the properties that are like constantly listed with, it's, rented below market. Like, yeah, but there's a reason.
Correct.
If you could get more, you'd be getting more. So I'm like, I'm basing my purchase on what you're getting right now, not your pie in the sky kind of thing. All right.
But that's true.
Yeah. So I don't mind the risk of going into a place that some people may not want to go. I don't mind putting money into a place.
Oh, we've seen that. Yeah.
The
ones on the hill.
Enjoy some of it.
Yeah, the ones on the hill. If they would have did right, you could have had all of them.
Oh yeah.
That would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 plus 3. So 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 3. That would have been 9, almost 10.
We've been doing really well with
that. Would have been 10 in one swoop.
I think those guys didn't have the right. I mean, they had too much in them.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to.
That's another story. That'd be part 2.
Yeah. So then there are some things where I don't like a lot of risk. Like I'm pursuing a fairly high return compared to what you're looking for.
Correct.
But at this point, as I go out and like work on starting a new kind of church.
Right.
I don't know if you're aware, but there typically aren't people coming by to make huge investments into house churches and house church networks.
Nope.
So I mean, this is a good chunk. I mean, really, for myself, that's the bulk of my income is coming from property.
Okay. Wow. I see why my phone goes the way it does. All right, so
Property and selling my cars here and there, but you know.
yeah, hey, listen, he got cars. That's
Do you want to talk about the deal we tried to offer on those?
Not yet. We'll wait. We'll get him that on the end. We'll give him that on the
The
end.
teaser for the yes. That was your first one to do that, I think, right?
It was.
Did we write that up?
We actually did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. So, yeah, we definitely got a teaser for you guys. When you're looking at a new investment, what is the first factor that can make or break the deal?
I mean, it's all money for me.
Okay.
I mean, that's really it. Like if I have the money or can find the money somehow,
So the
and
finance,
it's going to give me, yeah.
right?
Okay. So yeah, financing matters, whether it's my own cash or I'm going to the bank and I'm able to get something from them. And then it's got to work out financially. I mean, that's really all I'm looking at, but I'm adding up all the numbers.
And that's the rent, the property value, where it's going to be later. And I think we kind of covered, but just to be specific, is what's important? Is it the cash flow? Is it the appreciation? Is it a balance of both? And is it one or the other? And then why?
For me, and I may be totally different on this than everybody else. I am almost completely cash flow.
Okay.
Now my first degree is in finance, so I'm very much thinking about the cash flow side of it.
Right.
The long-term appreciation of the property, that's kind of in the back of my mind. And typically that works on real estate, but in some of the places I buy, let's be honest, they don't always follow.
They don't.
They're not always keeping up with inflation even. Now if I'm buying something, in our neighborhood,
Right.
then I'm going to be looking at,
I
okay,
need the
what's this going to be?
appreciation. Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not going to rent something in our neighborhood. I'm going to flip something in our neighborhood.
Correct.
Like I'm going to find the one that still looks like it did when it was built in 2004. I'm going to make it look like it does, like it should today.
Yep.
And then you're going to go out and make me a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
There it is. All right. How do you adjust how do you address your strategy when the market shift, or do you even try to even approach the market at all with the shifts? And the reason I'm asking that, because I noticed the activity kind of died down, and he's like, all right, let's go. So
Well, the activity died down because I spent all my money. You spent everything I had. So
I need you to flip some more cars so I can spend that money.
well, I mean, now we're getting into what was the offer?
No,
So
not
that's
yet.
easier.
We're
Just
not
that's where we go.
I'm not gonna tell them that yet. Listen.
Yeah, but no, that was the thing. Like I started looking again because just before Christmas, I sold the Porsche. So
Right.
that put a little cash in the pocket. By the way, just for investors out there, don't invest in a Porsche.
The minute you drive off the lot is what I hear.
Well, I mean, I bought it used and I kind of bought it right, but Porsche owners, oh man, it's just, you're dealing with a whole different level of, receipts, and everything has to be perfect.
Oh man.
I don't know if I guess it'd be like buying in a really ritzy neighborhood or something. I don't know if it's that way, but it's like they want the receipts from the Porsche dealer from 3
The
days before it was ever
maintenance.
purchased. I'm like, well, I can buy a Corvette. I can work on it myself. And a guy's like, cool. If I tell them I worked on my Porsche, they don't want it.
Oh
So I
wow.
have to have it professionally done. But we're not here to talk about car investments.
No, we're not. What did there though?
That part of it though is like when that sold, it's like, okay, now I've got money to do a down payment.
Okay.
But I get antsy sometimes. I like cars. I bought four more cars.
So listen, anybody who's out there watching this, he's buying cars. You see that? Look over here. So if you have a multi-unit, that's what he likes, and you want to sell it, call me. You know the number. You know the email. Call me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it in front of you.
Sure,
He now has the cash, and then I'm gonna sell it all,
Some of it.
and then he won't have any more, and then you have to sell more cars. No, just get back to
Like I said, I need to sell one car. I've gotten rid of 2 of those. I need to sell one more and then
boom, ready to
maybe
go.
go back in. Yeah.
What is one of the biggest mistakes you've made early on, and how did that experience change your approach?
Yeah. So it's so funny. Like I had no idea you're asking this question. And then right away, I'm like, here we go.
Right.
My very first rental property. Is that where most people make their mistake? It seems like.
It can be, yeah, let's say yes, 50-50, because some people get too aggressive on a second or third one because they felt like the first one make it. Hey, I made it. So now it's like, oh, let's do it. It's like, yo, don't forget.
Yeah. So ours was like, we didn't intend to do it. I didn't buy it as a rental property. So we bought this house. It was a nice, kind of a starter home.
Okay.
And we bought it brand new, and we bought it in 06. You know where we're going now.
Right.
Moved in, enjoyed it, and then market crashed. So we went out and we bought a nice big house. But I decided I don't want to lose all my money on my little house. So we just decided to rent it out. I didn't talk to anybody about it. I didn't hire a property manager, just Google and try to figure it out. Like, oh, just rent it out. And the sweetest lady in the world that she moved in with her. Oh, I have a dog. Well, that's fine. Is it a little? Yeah, it's just a little terrier.
I think I know where this is going.
Pit bull terrier.
And hardwood floors?
No.
Oh, whoo.
No. And then we had senile mother whose Social Security was paying the bills for the 4 generations living in the house. I didn't do a full background check. Like, everything was fine, but they were getting evicted from their apartment because they didn't take care of it. And they beat the tar in my house. Like, literally, the older lady of the house tore through the pantry and the front door with her cane. They put a lock at the top of the pantry door so she couldn't sneak in overnight. But she beat the door with a cane.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma wanted snacks.
Yeah. And then she died, which
right.
I'm feeling very bad for them about this. But then they had no income. So they weren't paying me. And I had no clue how to do an eviction.
So it was for free.
Oh, for months.
What, a hole in the cabinet from a cane?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
with a pit bull.
So, but what I did then was we had actually moved at that point. We moved away again, moved out of state. And I just called my buddy who was a realtor, a great realtor, does, almost to your level.
Oh, thank you.
Almost.
Appreciate it.
He's pretty phenomenal. But, he was wonderful. Like, he just swooped in. He had done all of the investment, done that stuff before, took care of all of it. And we had to pay for it. But,
right.
He got it all fixed up and ready to sell and got it moved. So what did I learn from that? It's don't go in this alone unless you really know what you're doing. So, my first thing when we were talking is like, yeah, let's find the property. But then I'm like, okay, where am I going to go for a property manager?
Yep.
When we were doing the stuff in Chattanooga, it was a guy from my church. Okay. I knew them. I knew their reputation. I heard things about them. They were the ones who helped me out with all of it. Phenomenal relationship. And so up here then, I knew I needed that kind of thing.
Right.
But I didn't have the relationships for it. So I asked you about some, did my research on that. Yep. But I was not going to manage all this on my own, even with having more experience. I'm like, no, I want
people.
I want so you can do the right things.
How do you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So they've got all of their, like, everyone who, my one place that's needed electrical and HVAC.
That hurts my heart. That place, I thought that was solid.
You would think, but some things needed to be done. It is now. It's really
so
nice.
it was lipstick on the pig.
Somewhat.
Okay.
But there's some good stuff done too. There's just things they didn't get to, but I still love the place. I would live there. It's pretty cool.
All right.
But I had somebody that knew who to call right away, get it done, how to handle the tenant, and we walked through and we're fine.
That's good.
It cost me some money, but I knew it was going to. And when I bought that place, I had a realtor who helped me to knock the price down when we got inspection on it. Yeah,
man.
It's like,
so negotiation skills was like
grand off.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah,
you know the answer. Well, just take money off.
Yeah.
I need his number when you get a chance.
That realtor?
Yeah. Oh, maybe it could be mine.
You've met him. Yeah, there you go. I really enjoyed that too, because that was just like watching you work that magic. I was a little afraid you may have had the other guy scared. I'm not sure. He may watch your podcast now. I'm not sure, but no.
I mean,
but it was legit. It's not like you were lying about anything.
Business. It's just, here's what I see. Here's what it is. Yeah. If you want it, this is what we need to make it work.
That's great.
And you didn't even know I was doing it. That was the best part. But it also came with our relationship when you were like, all right, cool. And I know you were okay with, I'm not going to say less than, but you were okay where it was.
Yeah.
So if I swung or I did what I did and he said no, we were okay. But I wasn't satisfied. As a client and doing work, it was something about it that I knew, like, wait, nah, this isn't adding up. And again, you don't have the answers to my questions.
Yeah.
So
that was the other 4 they had too.
Yeah.
It was this is a little sketchy. I don't even understand the things. That was a part of it, having a professional in there too. Like for the other 4 properties, I'm like, I don't understand the terms he's talking about. Like I have a degree in finance.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's saying right now.
It was 3 different people we had to talk to get a solid price on who owed who. And it was, we're going to get down that road. Because that's still interesting. This may lead us to it, but hopefully not. So can you share a deal where you pivot your strategy midway? What happened and what did you learn?
It's like all of my deals.
Like, here, Ben, listen, this is what we can do. If you really want to do this, you got to move it this way.
That probably was the biggest one.
Yeah.
So I think Tennessee has some just different ways they can do things. And maybe it was like pre-COVID and the market was different. So,
Okay.
So my strategy was very different there. And so it was built on pivot. Like I would just go in and make a low offer on a bunch of stuff. And then if they fairly low, and if they said yes, then I'd go look at it. Like you
so
could
it's
do that
sight
there.
unseen. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But then we come back with, visual inspection of, well,
I need you to take this off, this off, this off. Yeah, that doesn't.
and then I get to the price I really wanted, and it was great.
Oh yeah, that's
But
not gonna fly.
It doesn't work up.
Oh no.
I don't think it works down there anymore either.
Especially since when COVID, the laws and the rules changed,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to contracts, because a lot of people were, whether these big companies or not, but a lot of investors were doing sight unseen. And there's I'm not gonna say names. There's things out there now who like, yo, we'll buy this or we'll do this. And then they come in and be like, okay, we were gonna buy it for X dollars, but here's the list, the laundry list. So now,
Not $100,000 off that real quick.
yeah. And you've been off a market for 30, 40 days, and then you're in a pinch, and it's like,
Yeah, no, I didn't do that to anybody. It was,
Yeah.
because I don't like slow.
no.
So, I'm moving. I'm like, okay, that's the deal. Cool. Like, I've got cash. Like,
Yeah. And
that's going to be done in like a week.
That's why I
Ready?
moved the way I moved. He was like,
You
you
know.
know what are we doing? I'll have the answer in 10 minutes and we'll let you know.
Yeah. It's like,
And
I'll be a title in 10 days.
Yeah.
Whatever. As soon as they can get it done, I'm there. But pivoting, really is that deal we were talking about. So we were talking about a property package deal, kind of. It was 6 properties we were looking at.
yeah.
We ended up with 2 of them. But that was the pivot
Right.
on there, was just those 4. And we tried everything.
We actually
I was,
all right.
first
So
on this.
we're gonna
these
talk
things.
about this. So it was total of it was a 3-part package, right?
Yeah.
3-part package, but
Yeah, really. We could have split up that third
Yeah.
part into however many we wanted, but
correct.
Yeah.
And so one had a unit, we'll say a building. Another one had 4, and then or a 4 units.
yeah, so there's a duplex,
it was
quad,
a duplex, a quad, and then it was 3.
4, wasn't it?
1, 2,
I thought it was
with
4.
3 or okay,
Okay, 3 or 4
3 or
duplexes.
4 duplexes
Yeah.
in a row.
And they still had that little lot on the side of it.
Yeah, and it was an empty lot. That's what the 4th one was, I think.
Is it? Okay.
I think so.
I don't remember.
At the end of the day, we were able to we started off with 3. We were moving, we were doing 3. We started talking. I started thinking, yo, Ben, something doesn't seem sweet about this. Let's get these. Which out of the 3 packet, which 2 do you like? You gave me your 2.
Yeah.
I said,
And I have them.
yeah, let's lock it in. Once we lock it in, then we can go back and talk about this 3rd one.
Yeah.
Because that's where they start doing that funny math, where the math wasn't mathing.
Well, yeah, they're like odd financing. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
and I've never heard that
Yeah.
finance term used in that way before. What do you mean?
So my lender owes another lender that owes me, but I got to pay the lender back after he pays me. It didn't add up at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I really had no clue what they were saying that whole time. So I'm like, Dannel, like, what?
So,
Are these real
What-
words?
so what took place is that, so you guys know, you only see this stuff on TV. We're almost at closing for the 2 buildings. And he was like, all right, let's go after this 3rd one. So it got to the point where obviously it just put it because you had money set aside and financing set aside. So we're at the brinks of like, Dannel, this is all I got. Well, Ben, I don't know if this is going to work. Wait a minute. This is not all I got. Well, what do you mean? Well, I got about $50-something thousand. Well, why are we using it? Well, it's in a Porsche. It's in a Porsche 911, all blacked out.
Nice car.
A carbon fiber racing supercharged kit with the original.
You're going a little far on this now.
No, but it was. When I opened it was carbon. It was. You had the carbon fiber.
That's just the intake. It's like a supercharger.
I don't own a Porsche. I don't know. It was nice to me.
I don't anymore either.
But it was like, here, I got this, I got that. And if they want to make the deal sweeter, I'll throw in the motorcycle too.
Did I have the bike at that point?
You had it. You had the bike was at the very end. That was the last swing of it.
Try to throw in that SSR too.
And
we hated those. I forgot about that.
Let's say they wanted.
All I remembered was the Porsche.
Let's say they wanted.
And I remember
the package was 300 at somewhere around there. I don't even know. I'm gonna say 300.
But no, it was higher than that. It was. I think I was trying to get those about 150 a pop.
150. Yeah, you're right. Man, so
they were asking over two for each.
So 150 is 3 plus 450.
450. Yeah.
So it was more than 450 for the package.
Yeah.
We were trying to get them down to 150 a piece, including the Porsche, the SSR, and the bike came in at the end.
Honda Fury.
Listen, and it was, this is only things you see on TV. You're like, hey, listen, but it shows you how money is a tool. Listen, I got 100 in cash, 110, but I got another 50 in this, and I got another 20 in this, and I got 10 in this bike, and I could finance the rest. So with that being said, it was like, well, let's write the offer up. Let's see what we can do.
Go. And they did not like the SSR.
They did not like the SSR, but they contemplated everything else.
The Porsche was, I don't remember the motorcycle being on the table.
The Porsche was, they took the bike and the SSR off, and the thing was, they didn't know how to split the Porsche up. Other than that, if they would have figured it,
cut the Porsche.
Like this,
I get it on weekends.
It's like child support, right?
Yeah. It's a shared thing. And not only either one of them had any cash sitting around, but they could like pay out the other one to get a Porsche.
And it was a stick. So that's what threw it off too.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I don't think I
if it was manual, it would have been not manual, automatic. Yeah. They was gonna win. Yeah. But that's a prime example, guys. Listen, I know you're like, what are you talking about? That is a prime example of having a strategy. We went from having a three bucket, 3 unit deal. And so that would, again, it would have been 1 building with 2, 1 building with 4, and then 3 to 4 individual buildings.
I think it was just 3
buildings that all had, they were all duplexes.
Yeah.
You talking about doors. And you were like, yo, just tell them. You casually said, oh, tell them I give them my Porsche. What? Yeah, just write it up. See if they want my Porsche.
Why not? Here's the thing, though. You are not the only realtor that has had to do, or at least been asked to do, that kind of deal. I've done this to somebody else before.
I don't feel so bad. Listen, but the thing is to see, again, another light, and this is what I tell people all the time, even being an expert, right? There's still levels to it. There's things you see every day. You could be in the business 20 years and wake up like, well, I didn't know. Wait, hold on.
So like when you did your real estate courses, they this is how you trade a Porsche for a duplex.
That was not in chapter 12 or 52.
Okay. Chapter 911.
This is chapter life, 911 with the sport exhaust.
Yes. You just didn't have custom exhaust on there. Yeah.
But that's what keeps it fun though. It was fun. And at the end of the day, I didn't mind because I made sure you got what you really wanted.
Oh yeah, I got my 2.
You got your 2 at a deal that you were like, yo,
well,
I'm good.
And I feel good too. So like the other way we were going to do that, if they had taken the Porsche, we got the other 3 properties, or even that with a lot.
Right.
I was going to have to finance all of them. And so that duplex now, I own that cash outright. And for me, I like that. I mean, interest rates are a little higher than what they've been for most of any of my purchasing power days.
Yeah.
So I like having that one paid off. Whereas I would have been, borrowing for everything. And I mean, it can add some tension that way. So I really feel good about the way the deal turned out.
Okay. So this is the big one. Because we already talked about, how you watch the market, and really, as long as you had the cash, you're just like, yo, if it makes sense, I'm ready to go. Doesn't matter what the market's doing. As long as cash flow's good and everything's good.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be within what's the market say. Correct. I want to come in below market. I'm going to be fine.
Right. So What is your ultimate goal as an investor? Is it generational wealth? Is it freedom, or is it something else?
It's both. So it's freedom that will lead to generational wealth.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a little bit of my story. It was right at a year ago, I stepped away from a job, and I was able to do that because of the investments I've made over time. A lot of people get stuck in jobs where it's like, I have to keep doing this
Right.
because I don't have savings, or what else am I going to do? It's going to take me too long to get a job. And so I'm doing a complete pivot in the way I do the work I do. And it might even be a total pivot of what I do.
Okay. All right.
But I was able to do that because I had saved up enough to where I could make some shifts. Now, we didn't really get to the first interaction you and I had together. The first transaction you and I had together
True.
was selling the house that I bought and was renting to my dad. I was renting it real cheap.
That's true.
But that's what started it. And so when I left the job, I was thinking about, okay, I'm going to sell this, and then Dannel's going to help me take that cash and put it into these things and make these investments. Yep. Dad's moving into the basement, and we're going to have it all taken care of. And it's working great. I mean, the plan has worked.
And I remember you mapped it out. You said, this is my goal. Mm-hmm. Can you assist with this, or is this too much? Can you help? Because once I let this go, I have to move to the next one, and I got to go.
We chopped through.
Yep.
And so then the generational wealth comes in. So right now it's kind of build up to where we want to get to a point where I don't have to worry about work at all, and we can just give. Like right now I'm volunteering a lot with, my wife works for an incredible ministry, Deeper Walk International. Okay. And so, she's working part-time. I volunteer there a good bit just because I love it. And so I can do that. I substitute teach at the kids' school. Those are things I can do now. And so the more we build into the property, the more I can just focus on those kinds of things. And then eventually what I want to do is at least be able to, like when my kids graduate college or vocational school or whatever, or get married, something like, here's your first property. Mm. And if I can do that for each of them, maybe give them each a duplex where it's like, hey, you and your new spouse, you're going to live in unit 1. Right. You're going to rent out unit 2, and you're going to build it up from there. And that's where your generational wealth starts to come in. Like, that's the goal.
Okay. I appreciate that. Ben, you dropped a lot of knowledge, some gems. You shared some stories, and obviously we've been laughing this whole time. Yeah. So, wow. You want this 911 or no?
It's a Mustang Cobra and a Trans Am now.
See here, he's gearing up for some more buildings. Anybody want some cash and a Mustang for your multi-unit? Let's just... But again, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. And I think we might have to do a part 2 and dive in a little bit deeper. I might come up with some more questions for you.
That sounds like fun. I'm having a good time.
So
bring the beer, bring the bourbon.
Oh, I got you. Okay. You're actually with bourbon and beer now.
I know, that's great. It's a mix.
Yeah. Somebody tag Kentucky Bourbon Ale. Let them know that it's on my podcast right here. Sponsorship. Call me. We can make something out. But again, I appreciate that. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll help you find more properties. See, you didn't think about that. I got you.
All right.
As always, it's your favorite realtor, Dannel Shepard, and I'm with my guest today, Ben the Graham, also known as my neighbor, talking about real estate investments. Appreciate your time. And guys, remember, like, share, follow, No Fluff Real Talk, the real estate podcast that you will always love. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Your House is Key with Dannel Shepard. Each week, Dannel dives into essential tips, insider secrets, and expert advice to help you navigate the exciting journey of home ownership and home selling. From understanding market trends and finding the perfect neighborhood to even securing financing, staging your home, and closing the deal, there's only one guy that gets it done. Dannel Shepard, right here at yourhouseskey.com.